My name is Amber Marks, and I run German Shepherd Rescue, Indy. You know, I just have such a passion for the German Shepherd breed, and I want them to be able to get out of shelters where they're placed into them under poor conditions or misunderstanding of the owner of the breed. So that's my goal. I'm here every day, holidays, family activities. I miss a lot. So I started the rescue, and out of my own house, just a couple of dogs, and I quickly had to find a facility because there's not enough foster homes for the dogs that need help. And I wanted to save as many as possible. So the only way I can do that is to have an actual facility. It's a building that doesn't look like a rescue, that was the goal. And it's quiet. It's more of a home setting, I hope, even though it is a kennel. One of the things is, but people say, I didn't even know there was a rescue here. And that's really great because that's what I want it to be like. So right now, as we're taping this piece, there are over 35 dogs, German Shepherds, in here, and there's not one bark. And to me, that means they're very content, they feel safe, and they feel like they're at home. When I pull a dog, they come in, and of course they are looking around. They don't know what's going on, but quickly within 2 or 3 days they really get it, and they know that they will hardly ever have a leash around their neck, and within 2 or 3 days they'll run back to their kennel on their own and have a little treat on their bed, and they can't wait. So and they are given love. I think they feel very safe. It's very peaceful in the kennel. It's not a typical shelter where they're in their kennel all the time. They get out to run freely in large open spaces, and I think a lot of them feel like they're at home, and that's what I want. The wall of dog collars is a wall that has all the dogs. They come in with a collar on. I remove their collar and I hang it up on this wall, and it's more of a transition from being a shelter dog to their new life as being rescued, and they get a brand new collar when they get here. I think it's powerful to me to remember that there's a lot going on here. Okay, well, that cabinet was given to me by a family who had lost this woman had lost her brother, and he had a German Shepherd. So she graciously gave me that cabinet, and in that cabinet are ashes of the dogs that had passed away before they were adopted. And I can't even talk about it. I mean, there's so many in there that they're all great dogs in rescue. It's a part of it, but you don't want to think about it because you're so focused on caring for them, and then you do everything you can to make them better, and then when they pass, it's like like something's missing, like your arm. So the shepherds, when they go into a high stressful situation such as a shelter with a bunch of barking dogs, and there's fear, they sense all of those emotions, they can portray themselves in the worst light. They can jump at the cage, they can growl, they're really impatient, they'll circle themselves in the kennels, and it's very, very hard to temp test a dog to put it on the adoption floor. So many times the German Shepherds don't make it that far. They'll be euthanized. And once you get that dog out of its kennel, it's amazing what happens. They just transform themselves into a somewhat normal dog. And you have to get to that point where you get them out and see the true breed. This breed is magnificent. They are so loyal. They're protective. They would do anything for you. And it attracts many times the wrong person or the wrong family. They think they want a shepherd, and then they really don't, because the shepherd breed, all those wonderful things that we love about them, there's the other aspect of that, and that is the overprotection or the over loyalty. And there's all of these things, and when people get them, and they get overwhelmed, and many times they don't want to seek the training. They don't want to spend the extra money on a proper fence, And before you know it, they've raised their hands up and that dog's going to the shelter. It happens all the time. I probably get at least 2 calls a day saying, I can't keep my shepherd. So many people think since it's a rescue that I have staff, and I wish I did. Like the Humane Society has, staff. They have a lot of funding, but for me, I don't have staff. I have some wonderful volunteers, but unfortunately they have their own lives and can't be here every second that I would like help. So that's another thing. I'm always trying to find money to bring in so I can have someone clean the kennels, so I can, do rescue work. A lot of the times I don't do rescue work, I clean kennels, and that can be a problem moving dogs. So to run a rescue, you kind of have to be a little bit insane because you're not supposed to be able to make it. But if you, like me, I pray all the time and I just work. I work, and it is somehow I've survived and the dogs have survived. So without donations, I wouldn't be able to feed my dogs. I would not be able to pay my electric bill, nor the water bill. And I probably make about 5 cents an hour every day. And I don't care because I love what I do. But the cost, and the biggest cost is medical. So these dogs come in and they always have something. They have worms, fleas. They're usually not neutered or spayed, so that's another issue. And God forbid they'll have a major injury or heartworm. And heartworm disease, is a $500 plus treatment. And I don't always know when I pull a dog if they're going to have heartworm or a major issue. So you just have to pull by faith, and you have to just believe that there are people who care that there are rescues. So if you'd like more information about the rescue, adoption, donating, the information is on the website at www.germanshepherdrescueindy.com.